What's going on, guys? Dell's 2-in-1 laptop. We've already talked about it before. It's amazing. But how does it hold up against Microsoft's Surface Book 2? Because that's really been held as the king of 2-in-1s for a really long time. So in this video, we're going to be comparing the two to see which one is better and which one you should pick up.
As always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to watch some more awesome tech videos in the future.
In the clip before, guys, take 1 second out of this video to subscribe down below. Every subscriber makes a difference, and I really need your help to get up in that subscriber count, guys. Please subscribe. The Dell XPS 13 2-in-1, as you guys probably have seen before, is an amazing computer, but what does it have over the Surface Book 2, since that's also an amazing computer? First of all, the 10th generation quad-core CPUs, that's not in the Surface Book 2, and it's really not in any other computer, except for the XPS 13 2-in-1, of course. These processors are super intensive and really good for processing video editing, photo editing, gaming. Everything should be pretty smooth on this. I mean, I'm not saying it's amazing, but these chips are looking really good, the 10th generation quad-core chips. Another thing, it's $100 cheaper than the Surface Book 2. Surface Book 2 for 8 gigs of RAM, 256GB of SSD, and a quad-core i5 processor comes for $1,500 compared to $1,400 for the XPS 13 2-in-1. Another thing that really separates this from the competition, and including the Surface Book 2, is Surface Book 2's thick bezels really aren't up to 2019, 2020-ish esque. And look at the XPS 13 2-in-1 right here. It's much slimmer. The bezels are really thin, and compared to the Surface Book 2, it's not as bulky. The maglev keyboard is a thing to talk about. I really like it. I like the blend of the butterfly and scissor keyboard mechanism. The Surface Book 2 will give you a normal keyboard, but I like the maglev keyboard, and the XPS 13 also features a better and bigger trackpad. Another thing, the XPS 13 2-in-1, as I've talked about before, is actually half a pound lighter than the Surface Book 2. Surface Book 2 actually weighs quite a bit at about 3.4 pounds, which is something you have to keep in mind if portability is really important for you. These two share a lot of things as well. So first of all, quad-core CPUs are something you'll find across the board, since both of these feature the quad-core processors from Intel. Now the Dells are going to be faster because one, Surface Book 2 doesn't use a higher-end quad-core i5, while the XPS 13 has a 10th generation chip compared to an 8th generation chip as well, giving it the performance boost that you might want with the CPU. Next one is both of these have pen support, and the Surface uses a Surface Pen and the Dell uses the Dell Pen. They don't really have a name for it, I think. The pens are good, but really I don't see myself using the pen that much on the Dell side, but the Surface, especially since you can detach it, I mean, for note-taking, that would be pretty good. That would be really nice. Next one, both these are 2-in-1s, sort of makes sense. Both of them do the 2-in-1 thing in a different way. The Dell is more the conventional way, the Microsoft way is just a little more unconventional, but I prefer the Microsoft way. I'll talk about that later. Now, the Surface Book 2 has something that the Dell can't really offer, and it could be the game-changing feature. It has a dedicated graphics option, so gaming on the dedicated GPU option, which is an NVIDIA, I think GTX 1050. So that's a really good dedicated GPU. So if you're looking to do light gaming or maybe even heavy gaming, the Surface Book 2 with that dedicated graphics card could be the buy for you. Next one, better battery life. This thing has 17 hours of rated battery life, and that's due to the fact that there's 5 hours of battery life in the tablet portion and 12 in the actual base, like the laptop portion. Combine them and you got 17 hours of battery life. And about the tablet, it's a detachable screen. So what you can do is, you can just pop the tablet in your bag to school, and if you just need to take notes, just take the tablet to school, take notes, put it back. You don't really need to bring the whole computer, but when you need that dedicated GPU to game or something, you can put the keyboard right back on and start gaming. I think that's a really nice feature, and the 2-in-1 aspect really doesn't get solved on the XPS 13. It sort of folds back, and that's all really to it. Surface Book 2 really has a clever way of managing that. And also the display is much better. It's much more color accurate. It's brighter, and the resolution is 3000 by 2000 pixels, while the Dell's is a 1920 by 1080 panel. As I said before, the 4K option, avoid it because the battery life is pretty bad on the 4K option of the XPS 13. goes at 1080p. It's still a decent screen, don't get me wrong, but the Surface Book 2's is much better. Overall, which one should you go with? If the whole point of a laptop of these two are the 2-in-1 aspect, the Surface Book 2 wins this hands down. I mean, the Dell's got the better CPU, less thinner bezels, it's lighter, it's cheaper. But if the whole aspect for this computer for you is the 2-in-1 sort of tablet thing too, the Surface Book 2 has no competition from anybody else in the market. However, if your main focus is the laptop portion and the 2-in-1 is sort of second and it would be just nice to have, the XPS 13 is the better buy because it's one, cheaper, it has better processing, it's thinner, it's got a much newer design, much more refreshed, and I think we should be looking out for the Surface Book 3 to come out pretty soon. I think maybe in a couple of months, 1 or 2 months, and when that comes out, I'll probably update this review to see which one you should get then. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe down below. We could use all the help. Every subscriber makes a difference, and I'll catch you in the next video. See ya!